Monday! Break it mold. Welcome to the I Love Monday show. I'm Carlo, Mr. Monday, and I got Will Noonan here tonight.
What? Yes!
It's the closest he's been to anyone in a long time.
Ready?
Wow! Holy crap! Whoa. Are you a Honda Civic engineer?
I got balls.
Can I get a spray?
That could get us flagged on Facebook right there, you know.
I know, we might get discontinued. So, Will, you were like kind of smitten tonight when the Be a Man guy walked in?
Yeah, he's over here. I don't want to break the illusion, but he's in the room.
I know it.
I'm a big fan of the Be a Man segment.
What do you think about it? It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It cracks me up. Literally kills me dead. I'm a dead person. But I don't know why I'm saying literally so much. I was watching reality TV today, and it's like, that shit is worse than crystal meth for your brain. And your teeth.
Yeah, it kills people's vocabularies like COVID.
How you doing, Klusky?
I'm doing wonderful. The sun's out. I'm kind of coming out of my...
2 weeks in a row we've had a live show. Which is
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
really?
Yeah, it's our
I was
second.
told this. I was
gonna be the
told
first
like I was
one?
gonna be on the first one back. Who'd you get? Zolo? Who was the guy you got?
No, John Fury came
Who
back
was the
for
guy who was?
John Fury.
'Cause I remember talking to Joe like, when we all thought we were gonna die. I was like making all kinds of promises.
Zolo
I'm like, first show back, Joe. I want me, man.
Zola said like 50% of the world's going to die from this when it first came out.
Oh yeah, he's a
He's
it's
a
for
hypochondriac.
all people. All people had like everyone had a different take, right? Like in a different way they went with it. And mine was, I think, as fucked up as anyone's. Mine was on the surface, out talking to everyone, and even myself. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Couple weeks, maybe. Like it's like the flu. Da da da. But
being positive.
Secretly, I was hoarding groceries, ordering masks like off Amazon. I was like one of those dudes who like week 2 had like way before they asked us to wear them, I had them. So I knew something was up, but even to myself, I couldn't like admit it.
I started picking women that I thought would be fertile to create a new society to start. I went the whole 9.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
How many bandanas?
I buried guns all
How
over
many
the
bandanas
city.
did you get?
I buried guns all over the city in case I get anything. I know where they are. Bandanas?
How many did you get?
Oh, fucking that was one of the first. Other people were buying toilet paper. I was buying these guys because guess what? They can also be toilet paper.
That's
so
true.
Go fuck yourself, world. But I got every bandana in every color. My whole dream, before this, I always wanted to be a bandana man, right? And I saw my moment to become
Is that like
one.
Bananarama?
Yeah, it's a banana.
Banana
You could be
man?
a banana man and a bandana man if you want to be.
Really?
You can be
nobody
any
would
kind of
know.
man. You can be a Chinaman bandana man. You can be anything you want to be. It's 2020. As long as you're fucking breathing, you're doing great. But the point is, I always wanted to be a guy who was like, you see them. They always have like a purple shirt, purple sneakers, purple bandana. Like it matches everything.
Yeah.
Where do you even buy them? You know.
The Bloods in my school would get them from Pennyworths.
That was Len English, right?
I was from a
Yeah.
nicer town, so they went to Quarterworths. A little upper class.
So did you pick up any new hobbies during this pandemic?
I did actually. I picked up home auto repair.
Okay.
Come
Yeah, be a man.
Wow.
on. You never knew how to do anything with a car.
I actually did a little, so that's why I did it. Because I was like, you know what? I'm already like changing my battery, changing my oil. I was like, let's take it to the next step. I ordered like the shit so I could...
You get a new Honda every month because you work for them.
No, I don't.
No?
That's the beauty of a Honda is they hold their value and they hold their thing longer. So I still drive my 2006 Honda because I feel like it still runs as good as new. So why take it off the road? That's just how I am.
Wow, what a
Yeah.
I get and when it breaks, I like to get underneath it with the wrench. You
Chicks
know,
like
and just,
that. Like chicks like a guy with one of those. I don't know what it's called. It's like a long metal thing with a hole in it, like a stick.
a
That's
ratchet.
one of the chicks love those.
Dude,
They're
they
like
love
ratchets.
the sound of it.
Yep.
They all have a ratchet under their bed.
When I'm in Southie, I pop the hood of my car. This is all you gotta do. I pop the hood, I take the ratchet out, I kind of like just
Chill out.
look at it. Within seconds,
Do you have your
will-
dog with you too?
Yeah, dog sits there, and
Yeah.
within seconds, people will walk by and be like, It's nice to see a guy working on his own car, you know, and chicks will be like, what's wrong? I hope it's not something too bad. It's people just respect you right away, you know?
Oh yeah, ladies, imagine you walk by a beautiful Honda and one of those little wooden boards with wheels that rolls out, and Will Noonan's there with a little grease on his face, going, "Oh, I can fix this. It won't be."
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
What color's your Honda?
It's like a navy blue. I mean, I'm just, you know, the American Navy.
Nice. So people don't.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, he's the Honda guy.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you know.
Honda commercial guy.
Yeah.
Right? You know?
The around here guy. Because it's around here we Honda. So if we're going to be on brand, around here.
Yes.
But believe me, when I'm on the Be a Man, I Love Monday show, when I'm on the I Love Monday show with Breaking Balls, I'm just Will, the greatest comedian in the city of Boston.
It's not hard to be a big comedian here. Okay.
Maddie,
You know?
in the morning, said it several times.
Wow, seriously?
Well, I mean, he had to. It's written in my bio.
That's pretty nice.
That's all you need.
That's the key. No one ever thought of that before me.
Yeah.
Write it in the bio. This guy's the best comedian in Boston. They just started saying it over and over again, and then manifest destiny.
You gotta fake it till you make it, man.
Now I have them say this guy is immune to COVID-19 and the best comedian in Boston. I'm like, it's got to be true.
So you've done Maddie a couple times, right?
A couple times.
Is it hard to? I mean, I'm not like cussing like a sailor right now. Is it hard to? I would be terrified.
I've always been kind of good at that.
Right.
Because in my life I always had either a grandmother or like a niece around.
You're like an Eddie Haskell type.
I'm very much an Eddie Haskell type. So I was always good at like being like, grandma's here. I always tell my fellow
he
comics that.
He is. Eddie Haskell, the guy who played him, just died.
COVID?
Poor guy.
Corona?
He died of Eddie Haskell died of Corona.
I think he died in a riot. He was an LA cop.
He was a cop?
He was an LA cop.
After he was an actor, he turned to a cop? Jeez, that's weird.
Yeah, he was he was acting as a cop.
Kletzky, who is Miss Monday this week?
Miss Monday this week is Brittany Baldy. She loves Mondays because to her, every day is a Friday.
It's a little bit of an outdated jersey she's got
Sounds like
on
a
there.
party. She also has a show on Monday nights called Boss Babes.
Yes, she does.
She is a sports freak and an outdoors woman who has a puppy named Decker. She says, check out her show Boss Babes Tuesday nights because you're already watching I Love Mondays tonight. She's on iTunes and Spotify, but she's a pretty woman right there, huh?
She has a show on Monday, so we
Gorgeous.
can't really watch her show, but I have seen it. It's pretty good. And her last name is Baldessari, okay? Not Baldy. So
but she
it's
goes
a
with
nice,
that.
long Italian name, but she wants to show it like Madonna.
After they closed all the waxes and stuff, I doubt she's a baldy anymore. I will say, what are the odds that
She's actually related to our guest tonight.
what are the odds that mole is in such a good place? Like, what are the odds that she's a hot chick already,
Well-
then has a mole and
Yep.
it's in the
See,
perfect
I
place?
think that's the point there is it's not a mole because it's in the correct place. It's a beauty mark. But if you put that mole in the wrong place, it becomes a mole.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
on her, it's like, oh,
She's so pretty, it just
Yeah.
makes her look even better.
but that is a nice placement.
I like the hat. The hat's great.
Like, give the Lord, props where props are due. He made an angel, and then he was like, here's a little chocolate chip. Just to make you stand out. Britt,
Were you shooting stuff for Honda the other day? I
I was, happily. It was very cool to be shooting in the post-COVID-19 era. Everyone else on the crew, right, but me, I got to be, as is, no mask or anything like that, but everyone else has masks. Because we were shooting outside, they also had sunglasses on. So it was kind of like, I'm used to looking out at smiling faces and show business. It's like, good job, man. Oh, let's just do a couple more takes, but you nailed it, man. You're the best, right? I'm so used to that, and I always thought I was like above that shit. But when it was just like a bunch of stormtroopers with no expressions, I was like, did I do a good job?
Now's the time to shoot. People aren't on the streets for the most part. You can actually probably shoot places where you normally couldn't.
What month are you born in?
I love how we just bounce around. I'm born. I was born in October 12th. I'm a Libra.
Me too.
Wow.
Get out of here.
Wow.
Man, you're a man.
Dude,
So is Earth Tone, Joe.
get out of here.
He's one of those purple
Are you fucking
wearing
kidding me?
clothes
There's
people.
3 people
that you were
with an
talking
October
about.
12th birthday in here?
Not October 12th,
September 30th.
but we're all Libras.
All
That's one of the traits of a Libra is just pretending your birthday is whoever's nearby. That's like one of our traits.
Plus we good kisses.
Good kisses. Luke Perry was had the same birthday as me. I know.
Is he dead too?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he died like last year.
Of drugs?
Stroke.
He's dead.
He loved butts. He loved to rip the dots.
Oh, I thought you meant butts.
Well, who doesn't?
Cuss, what do we got for viral videos that went crazy this week?
Our viral curating team keeps finding some of the greatest videos on the internet, and we keep using them to blow up our brand. We're going to show you the top 3. Do you want to see what we got, and you can tell us what you think?
Go ahead.
All right, great.
We have no choice.
At number 3, this one comes in from Brazil, and it has some of the most massive replay value that we have here, garnering over
nice.
100,000 views across our platforms. The old water balloon to the face. Let's check it out.
That's what it's like.
That
Yeah,
kid,
yeah.
No,
You're like,
really.
oh fuck you!
Does
And
that
then like
aggravate
the
you
government
guys
just
when people give you the finger? Do you like, does that piss you off? It doesn't bother me. Does it
no.
bother you guys?
When somebody gives me the finger?
Yeah, I won't forget about you.
No, it's
You'd
probably more
go
in the
after my axe.
situation. Yeah.
No, I kind of like a little bit of that in traffic.
Some sass.
I like it like keep it in that level though. Like I'll give you the finger, you give me the finger, a little bit of this, but like that's it.
If
it
I
escalates,
cut you off and you give me the finger, that's fine. If you cut me off and then give me the finger, I feel like you should be able to hit them with a crowbar.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've done it too.
Tire
I
iron.
know you.
And let me tell you something. Water balloons, I have the best aim.
Do
I
ya?
can take people out. with
Really?
those. Yeah.
This reminded me when I was in high school. We used to throw eggs at kids, but more like in a
yeah.
more like in a hazing way. Like they were guys who were kind of buddies.
People were more resilient.
Like our friends' little brothers, we would always do it too. If we saw one of our friends' little brothers, we'd like drive by and throw an egg. And I remember one time it was like this. The kid was like, ah, and he was on a bike, and it just looked like it was like one of those like Vietnam. He like spun like a top. He was like, nah. I still see it.
First day of school, senior year, everyone, the seniors drive around beeping.
Yeah.
We all hid in the bushes across the street from the school, me and all my buddies, and pelted everybody. And there was like 10 of us.
classic.
Everyone hated us for the year, but we liked it that way.
When we were in the 6th grade, we filled a sandwich bag with peanut butter, and this kid that was like terribly allergic to it, we threw it in his face and then locked him in the closet for 3
Holy
hours.
shit.
Yeah.
What happened to the poor kid?
Oh, he died like that day, but none of us were like, because all of our moms like were in the city council and they kind of just brushed the
Yeah,
whole
they
thing
covered
underneath
that.
the thing. Yeah,
When
it
you
was
were
cool.
white too. So
Imagine if that happened today.
it's not
Yeah.
really murder.
God,
Yeah.
He's dead.
he's dead. Who's the next one?
At number 2, we got some heat for this one. People saying that it's mean, but personally I think it's very funny. This one is called Old People and Technology.
I think she's trying to pay for parking or order a sandwich. The poor thing. She has arthritic hands. The poor thing.
This is why this is why coronavirus spread as fast as it did. Because
It had to.
Look at this one. Not only is she about to eat nuggets with those fingers, she's just rubbing them all over what she thinks is a touch screen.
She's senile, the poor thing.
You think?
Yeah.
You think? I've never seen a senile person in a shirt that attractive before.
She
Come on,
escaped.
look at that.
She escaped from the old
That's
age
right
home.
off the curtains. I don't know why I'm being.
Doc
so
had
mean to this lady.
85,000 views in one day, I heard.
I was gonna say I'll admit I had an issue with
Yep.
the Washington D.C. mobile McDonald's. I like sat in the wrong spot for a really long time and then came in and I was like, I ordered the fucking curbside. No one brought it out. She was like, we were looking for you. Like it's over there. And then I was like, this
was she
old
from
lady.
Ireland?
She was, oh, sure, we were looking for you.
We're looking for you.
Oh, it's at the end of the rainbow. We've got
But
your.
if that lady drove there, does that make you feel terrified or what? She didn't walk there. She's not walking a long distance.
Yeah, she got out of the car.
I hope her car doesn't have a touchscreen in it.
She thinks
Yeah.
it does.
Poor
She's
thing.
she's like from 7 states away. She's like, what the heck?
Every screen's a touch screen if you're blind.
What's the last one we got here, Klusk?
This number 1 video really got around. The investment banker from Russia who thought it would be a good idea to show off his indoor pool with a swan dive from a ledge. Let's check out the videotape.
Like that pool can't even be that deep. That's
gotta
probably
be like
a 2 foot deeper.
that had hurt so bad.
What was
How
he
did he do
drinking?
that?
He was doing something before that. That was like 2 a.m. He's like, watch, I can jump off the thing.
Yeah, like first of all, that's such like a fucking Russian architecture. Like, what building in America would even have that in it?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
you know
a
what I
good
mean?
point.
Is that
Like-
that's someone's house or is that a hotel?
It's like
Like a Dutch
yeah.
spa.
That's like when a Saudi and a Russian have sex. When a Saudi house and a Russian house have sex, this
Yeah.
house is born. That furniture makes no sense. There's no room to even walk around that pool right there. But yeah, I don't get it.
It
That's
look-
how you get in.
That actually looks like that pool like LeBron uses to like come back from an injury.
yeah.
It's just LeBron's
all his
trainer.
teeth got knocked out. The guys, I saw the after pictures.
They
his
did?
Teeth were gone. You know
These are fake.
what happened? Tell us this backstory.
It was it
You
was
got porcelain, like some nice porcelain teeth.
Thanks.
How come this is KO Pectate?
KO
I mean, seriously, I thought it was hand sanitizer. It's freaking KO Pectate.
pectate? What the fuck is that? What is that? Like Ovaltine? Is this something from your time?
It's like Pepto Bismol.
Oh, I love a good Pepto-Bismol. Makes your tongue black, makes your shits black and tarry.
So what
That
happened
means
to the
you know you
veneers?
did
Tell us
right.
about the veneers.
These aren't veneers. These are mostly my real teeth, but the two front ones, I mean, it's kind of a classic story. I was drinking beer in a gas station, and
What do you mean, inside the gas
my
station?
buddies in high school worked in a gas station like you do, and they had the keys, so we would use it to drink at night, have little parties in there, have the girls come by. So this girl, one of the freshman girls, like opened the door as I was drinking like a Bud Light, and it was like the classic, classic bottle teeth maneuver. And then I had to go home drunk and like.
Bleeding out of the face.
Did
Kinda
you
ask
ruin
my
her
mom.
high school career?
She was like, couldn't give a shit. No one really could give a shit either. And then I went home and I had to like tell my mom
What'd you
about
say?
it. I said I was wrestling with my buddy.
She was even
Which was
more
really,
nervous.
that should have been more alarming at 17 or 18, but I was like, yeah, I was wrestling with my buddy. And then I remember the dentist, he knew the score. He was like, yeah, you're wrestling with your buddy, huh? Like you fucking you smell like booze and you're hungover.
you gotta- so the next
He's
morning-
like, you can barely get hard. I can hardly feel this penis in my hand.
So
We're
you went,
filthy on this show, right? Can we get filthy?
Oh, getting it, yeah,
you
yeah.
went to the
So-
dentist the next morning?
Molested by my dentist.
The next morning you went to the dentist or that night?
Oh, next morning. But I was upset because I was already auditioning and acting. In my head, I was like, "That's that." You know how
They can't
Hollywood
fix
is.
It turned out pretty good.
Can't fix you can't fix teeth.
You probably would have been a big movie star.
Probably would have been. I was almost in Miracle. Remember Miracle? This was
Yeah.
around that time.
Yeah.
I was up for Miracle.
What were you gonna be in that?
I was gonna be one of the guys from Southie, but at the last minute they were like, I think they realized it was a lot easier because acting is a lot easier than hockey. So I think they were like, we could just teach hockey players to act decently,
Right.
than we could ever teach
Yeah.
actors to decently play hockey.
That's a good point.
Which I can't fault them on one bit.
Mike Ruzioni, remember he's the guy who played his part? He said he had to push him out there.
Yeah, he couldn't.
He couldn't skate. The guy could not skate.
It was, yeah, it was like that, and but it was a bummer. I actually remember the audition really well. It's like, you know how scary stuff like that is.
Did you go to the
especially as a kid?
audition after the tooth thing?
I think it was around the same time. The whole tooth thing was taken care of in like an hour.
Oh,
It was
okay,
really
alright.
quick. Like you just put anyway, kept it up top. But I go to the thing and I remember this like it was yesterday. I'm in there and it was like the callback. It was like the second or third round. It was getting serious. Producers are in there and shit. And I had just gotten through the scene and it went pretty good. And I was walking out and they go, "Hey, what are the 3 zones in hockey?" You know? And I played hockey my whole life and everything. And I'm like, the offensive zone, the neutral, the defensive zone, the offensive zone, and I just like couldn't remember the third one. And it was like I was like blanking, you know what I mean? I was like, and I remember like I was like 16 years old, and the fucking like producer of this movie was like, "Get him out of here!"
Really?
He's like, "What the hell? You bring in guys you don't even know," and like
Doesn't even know the zone.
as they're like pushing me out the door, I'm listening to the guy go like, "You didn't even know what the blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Fuck." I was like, "Well, that's that."
Have you got over that yet?
Obviously not. Sweaty. I got like sweaty talking
Molested
about
by
it.
a dentist and yelled at by a producer.
Yeah.
That's
you don't
terrifying.
forget it. One time, and I have another audition horror story. When I lived in LA, I had an audition for a commercial, and I was like, I had this big zit, and I was like, do I go? Don't I go? My agent got me this audition. Like, I gotta go. Like, I was like, I'm a guy from Boston. Like, I go to shit. Like, I make a commitment, I go to it. You know what I mean? So I go. I do the audition as soon as I'm walking out. I'm like opening the door. A guy goes, "Hey, can I ask you a question? Why the fuck do you come to an audition with a zit like that?" And I go, I don't know. I just figured I had the appointment. He goes, "Yeah, all right." And he goes, "Well, come back when you get a bar of soap." As I'm walking out the door.
Wow.
You believe that shit?
You've been shit on a lot.
Get some Neutrogena.
How do you get rid
I've been
of-
shit on more than a German prostitute.
Listen, do you ever get rid of a zit growing up? Like you put hydrogen peroxide on there, or you put something hot to.
Oh, I got all kinds of. I got
You
the
want to
sucker,
pop that
yeah.
thing. You put something really hot to get the
Be a man.
pus out.
Not moments before an audition, right?
What?
Be a man
Like
is
that's like
popping.
day before prep, though, right?
No, you can do
You
it
do
right.
same day.
Why not? I
Be a
mean,
man is when you go out with
there's got
it
to be a
bloody.
way.
I had a buddy who didn't give a shit. He used to like go out with his white head on his lip and still like hook up with chicks and everything. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't let it in his head, and it didn't affect him.
You talk. He's a talker.
That's how we got the chicks.
That's the key. Acne's tough.
We're gonna take a quick break here.
Proactive.
You got to check out our interview with Southie's own Jay Giannoni, and we'll be right back with these guys in a few minutes.
Yeah!
So Jay Giannoni, multi-talented actor, writer, producer, stand-up guy, and most importantly, a Boston Italian American. But you're in LA now. So do you feel like a traitor? I mean, you left us for LA.
Not really. I left to pursue to do better things, and whatever I get out here, I'm going to bring back there with me.
So let me ask you. Are you really from South Boston? Are you from like South Weymouth and you just say you're from South Boston? Because you know those guys in Boston? They're like from like Wellesley, but they say they're from the hood in Dorchester.
Oh, yeah. Now, I meet guys out here. I'm like, where you from? They're like, Southie. I'm like, oh, really? What part? They're like, Connecticut. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
That's exactly what I mean. But you're really from the projects of South Boston.
Yeah, I was brought from the hospital directly to the projects. I mean, that was it for me,
Wow.
I lasted about, 23 and a half, 24 years till I, broke out and came out here to LA.
That's awesome. South Boston projects aren't bad compared to some other ones, but still it's the projects,
We policed our own projects. The funny thing, when I was growing up, after the Vietnam War, there were a lot of Vietnam veterans that were living in the projects and that were like lurking about, a lot of homeless, and there was some issues there. It was very drug-ridden. There was a lot of pills around.
Yeah.
There were a lot of heroin around, people shooting up in front of us
Right.
when we were like 5, 6, 7. So it was rough upbringing because of what we saw. There was always a fight. I mean, there was a fucking fist fight twice a day.
Right.
We saw people get, beat bloody, get beat up. I've seen people get shot. But Southie policed their own shit. When someone got shot or someone got beat up, they didn't call the police. They were like, get him a napkin, bring him into the house, and they would straighten it out. And, the cops never came.
Is your mom still around? Or?
My mom's around. My mother did theater for like 35 years. She went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, went back and forth to school in New York, chased an acting career down. When she was in Boston, she was acting and doing theater. And basically, I grew up in the theater watching her, rehearse, then watching on the weekends, watching her perform, not knowing that I'm getting a lesson and an understanding in story, plot, characters, how to rehearse, how to deliver lines, and then I grow up and I'm chasing my music career, and most people got to knock on the door of acting and try to become an actor. For me, I was out here in LA working on my music, and someone asked me, hey, do you want to audition for a movie? And I was like, wow, yeah. And, someone else, hey, you want to audition for this TV show? I'm like, okay. And I get the jobs. People are out here grinding, fighting, kicking, scratching to catch a break, and someone invited me in.
What instrument did you play? So you were in a band? Like you were singing?
Well, I was a singer and a rap artist, so I didn't play any instruments. I mean, I could mess around with the drums a little bit, and I know my way around the recording studio, as an engineer. So I understand tracking and mixing and things like that, and that's just from spending a lot of time in the recording studio and hanging out. But I'm a songwriter and a lyricist mostly, and I had a record deal in Boston. In the early 90s, I was nominated for a Boston Music Award. I had song on the radio, a video out. I was in a group called Urban Attitude. And we were making some headwaves and making some noise, and we were on tour just in a regional area, New Jersey, Philly, New York, LA. Boston. Not out to LA yet. The group broke up, kind of didn't really understand the business. Some money got stolen. that's what propelled me to want to run to LA and find out what's really going on in this world. And, you know, I hooked up with Mark Wahlberg. And then, you know, Mark was coming off the Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. He wanted to start this group called One Love. He had this multicultural rap group. He had a couple of his friends from, you know, Roxbury, and he grabbed me and we formed this group. And then we went on tour and we ran around, went to Germany, went to London, we went around France and Amsterdam, and we started performing with Mark and doing stuff with him. And right in the middle of that, his acting career started taking off, you know, with Basketball Diaries and Boogie Nights and, you know, Fear. And so the music thing kind of died down because he was more or less the reason why we could get heard and we could be seen, because he had these millions of New Kids on the Block fans that his brother Donnie had developed. And so I stumbled into, you know, this other world with him and the next level higher. But, you know, to be honest with you, I met a lot of people through Mark, and that's how I got my first movie, Southie.
Jay's a cool guy. You'll see the rest of it, the interview at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So
cool.
it had to be tough for, like, you know, hairdressers. They couldn't cut hair, obviously. Yeah. And but comedians, what did you guys do? Like during this whole quarantine, that had to suck.
Did some weird shit.
I mean, at least we did something on Mondays. But you were going out doing all sorts of
Well,
stuff.
since the rooms can only have 25% the capacity, that's double the amount of people that would normally come to my show. So that works out great for me.
But what'd you do? Did you reinvent yourself a little bit? Is there something coming up at Laugh Boston with John Tobin?
Yeah, we're doing people in cars watching comedy. So it's like you'll take your car to, I'm doing one in Providence on July 5th, and they're doing one, they're doing them all over the state of Massachusetts, all over New England, different big parking lots like Gillette Stadium, right? Sick. So you go, and it'll look like this drive-in, you'll go there, wow, that's a beautiful graphic, by the way. You'll go there, cool. I'll be standing right around here somewhere. My dong will be right there, and and you'll watch us, and we'll be on the screen, and I'm actually liking it. I'm like, I've got like 20 new minutes of, it's not about like quarantine or anything, but it was kind of like, for me, it was like, I started doing these Zoom shows, I was like, yeah, you start telling your old jokes, you know? You're like, so I was walking down the street and a homeless guy came up, and you're like, none of this shit makes any sense anymore.
That's crazy.
Like, all of it is nuts.
Yeah.
All of it is like, well, who cares, man? Like, basically yesterday. Every joke could end with, who gives a shit about that? Right?
How'd you like those Zoom calls?
You know, it was weird. Like, at the beginning, I did a couple, like, I did some with Old Dirty Boston in the first, like, week, and at that point, it was like methadone when you're trying to, like, get off of heroin, you know? You're just like, you're like, I'll fucking take anything, and I can't just go cold turkey. I need to, like, slip out of this thing. So I really enjoyed those, but then it started to become, like, the Zoom show started to get, like, more professional and, like, more produced, and then they started to feel, like, less, then it just started to feel weird. Like, doing them is kind of fun, but it's just weird, you know? I did Laugh Boston, like, sold out the shows, and it was, like, the best weekend of my life, and there was, like, all these, that was, like, the end of February, you know? Yeah. And then you're like...
So you're onto something.
And then you're like, good night, everyone, and then you just go, bloop. And you're like, guess I'll, like, take a shit and maybe, like, make a hot dog.
How much money did Zoom make during the pandemic? They kind of kept
I've never paid for Zoom.
They didn't make their money now. They're going to make it when they steal all your information.
Which they already did.
Yeah, it's a Chinese company. They're selling everybody else out. So now they have access to your phone. So any dick pics, you might want to get rid of those ASAP.
I got hacked like 3 times already.
Do you have dick pics?
No. I mean, no one wants to see that. No one wants to see that.
You guys ready?
Every pic of me is a dick pic.
Let's shoot the shit here. Time to say goodbye to cauliflower.
Chinese scientists created an injection which fixes deformed ears in mice, and they say it could work on humans. Deformed ears labeled cauliflower ears are a hallmark of contact sports, including boxing and rugby. Chinese scientists found a way to sculpt fresh tissue using 3D bioprinting. What do you think they're doing this on mice's ears for?
Oh, I think I know why you think.
Why they're doing it on mice's ears?
Yeah, like why would scientists be
isn't
doing this
isn't cauliflower
to
just
regenerate
diet
a mouse's
broccoli?
ear?
Is it? It's just broccoli.
It's diet broccoli.
It's even less fun broccoli. It's like, is broccoli a little too much for you? Try some cauliflower.
You ever seen anybody with really bad cauliflower ears?
I have. I say it's always behind. It's always like you're behind them at 7-Eleven or a convenience store, and you're just like, I'm like, fuck. the fuck is in there? Like if you squeezed it, like would it spray? You know what I mean? Like would it be like stepping on a June bug that's pregnant?
You can predict his order at the convenience store too, I'm sure, right?
Skull every time.
Yep.
The flavor's the hard part.
Just yelling out the number scratch ticket he wants and saying no every time the guy reaches for it.
It never says thank you.
No.
What about like the people like
That's my beef.
the people with, like blackheads in their ears? And
Oh, dude, the
How
hair.
Oh, how gross is that?
Oh man, I've seen some nasty ones. I mean, that's one thing about this stuff is you don't meet the people as much. You know, like I was thinking of that. You know, after a comedy show, I was like, are we still gonna go out after the show and like shake hands with everybody? Like, I fucking doubt it, right? I doubt they'll even want to shake my hand.
It could be better now. It could be the girls just DM you, and now you don't have to like fake anything.
I think
in front
everyone
of
should
her.
just do what you did. Like,
I think that's what's gonna happen,
yeah, but it's
but it's weird. Wow. I'm writing this guy's cauliflower ear.
It's going to be interesting across different parts of the country because for New Englanders, we need this summer. Like, this is a psychological thing to us New Englanders. And if we don't get this, our culture is going to change dramatically as soon as we go right back into a nice cold winter. And people haven't shook in the hand or gotten a girlfriend in 2... You have like 3 months to find a girlfriend over the summer. That's how it used to be. You know what I mean? Like, or you break up with them. I forget. I was
before
gay in high
Christmas,
school.
you break up with them, so you have to buy them a present.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call Jesse.
All right, let's do the next one. North Korea cracks down on sarcasm.
Kim Jong-un's lackeys moved to ban a phrase mocking the dictator after it surges in popularity. Roughly translated, the phrase reads, "You think you're the general or something?" Kim Jong-un is known as the general, and the phrase is seen as mocking him. It was used in a South Korean TV show that was illegally watched by many North Koreans. They snuck it in, and now they're trying to crack down on the propaganda.
He's dead. We announced that he was dead on the show. He's dead.
I like that they're cracking down. Like, normally easygoing North Korea has decided to crack down for once.
Casual North Korea.
Imagine
Laid back,
if he
wacky
was
North
American
Korea.
and lived in America, this guy, what would happen to this chump?
He would be like a Twitch. He'd be on Twitch playing video games right now. He'd be playing like
That's funny.
Call
yeah.
of Duty on Twitch.
Yeah, he's on Twitch and he's like, man, I'm really sick of like, you know, all these other people that I play with. Like, they don't get Kim Jong-un, you know? Like, so I just want to thank my subs and my sex doll.
He looks like
He's
he got
also
his
named
fade
Kim
in Lynn.
Jong-un.
He wants to be American so bad. It's like ridiculous.
He
Why
does.
am I getting nerfed?
He
by
wants to
you?
be American so bad he's grabbing a gun in that photo.
Yeah. He's 5'6", 300 pounds, Be a Man said.
Wow.
You know?
5'6", 300.
Yeah.
That's my dated a few of those
But like,
my Tinder days.
can you give me an example where you might use the phrase to insult somebody? The general, you think you're the general or something? Have you ever?
It's kind of like saying like who made you president, right?
Who died and made you? But yeah,
Who died?
You're not the boss of me.
What? Who died and made you great leader?
This guy.
Enough already.
What a clown.
Yeah, he stinks.
The funniest thing too is like he's not like hanging out on a bus and overheard that. One of his guys came to him and he's like, "Hey, yo,
you know a lot of people.
13% of the population said this yesterday." He's
Yo,
like,
Kim, the streets are talking. They're saying a lot of people walking around there saying like, "What are you, the general?" And like, I know it's a joke, but like, what if some of them don't really know? You might want to crack down on that. I don't tell you what to do, Kim. That's you do you, but streets are talking. And they're speaking English, which is crazy.
The only thing that 2020 is missing.
That joke sucks so bad, I'm going to give myself handstands.
Yeah. Pepto-Bismol.
That'll help.
A skyscraper-sized asteroid traveling at 11,000 miles per hour zipped past Earth this last Saturday. It was the size of 4 football fields, which is 400 feet taller than the Empire State Building. It missed us by just 10 times the distance of the moon.
Just 10 times the distance of the moon.
Yeah, I mean,
which
that
isn't
sounds
much.
far, but that's not far in the grand scale of
Right.
Space.
eternity.
Infinity.
Yeah.
How many of the worlds are there, do you think?
Define
this is
world.
Well, we're in a world.
Like
How
a
many-
planet?
Yeah.
There's
Our worlds.
9 of them in our solar system.
No, but they don't count. Like after those.
I mean, it's
What do you think?
infinite.
You mean with his
Do you think there's
I
another
think if
world
you go
like our
far,
world?
you know how space is black? I think if you go far enough, it's like green or like yellow.
That's
different
not
color,
even crazy.
different color,
It just changes,
mucus.
you know?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Mucus.
I was.
I just want to know if you
I
believe
just
in
think
that
this
stuff.
happens. I read this article like not to. I know you guys have fact checkers. But I feel like I read this article all the time where it's like, we just got missed. We were just missed by an asteroid. Asteroid coming. watch out. It's like, yeah, you know, aren't we kind of just a big rock flying through space? So it's like if you're driving on the highway, are you like, oh my God, over every car that drives by you?
No.
Fake news.
We could have got 14 inches of snow last weekend, but we only got a dusting.
Will Noonan is an asteroid sympathizer.
I'm an
I think.
asteroid sympathizer.
Yeah.
And I also don't like how they say they're skyscraper sized, you know? That's a land thing. That's an earth thing.
That's a weird unit of measure.
Keep it space.
That's
Why, how big do you think that is?
I would say like
Like a
first of
football?
all, if someone said asteroid size, I'd get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if someone was like, "There's an asteroid-sized asteroid heading to Earth," totally have the correct mental picture.
You could vision it.
Yeah, nothing is like
Yeah.
in my mind. I'm actually going a slightly bigger. I'm picturing something Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis can walk around on.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's it.
do
Liv
you
Tyler.
think,
Can
Klaus?
I think the thing that Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis both drilled into was Liv Tyler in that movie.
Going down south. Remember that part? That part's weird when you're watching
That
one.
movie
It
does.
is, it's awkward.
He's got the animal crackers on her belly. Remember? He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm friends with your dad, and I'm putting this animal cracker near your vagina.
Even her dad was kind of trying to bang her in that whole movie thing. He wrote the song, and it's like her kissing. It's
That's a weird one.
Yeah.
He put her in a video. Remember like videos he used to put her in?
She had like a campaign where she just got like her vagina tattooed. He was like, "Baby, this is you're gonna make you a star."
Suggestive placement.
Did you guys ever know a girl who had a vagina tattoo?
I have an interesting story. I can't tell.
I knew a girl once. I knew a girl once who had nothing there and a tattoo of a vagina. It was the trickiest chick I ever knew.
Fire!
It was just like,
The poor thing sick.
no, I'm just
She
fine.
got a sister?
When I was 16, I went to a tattoo
That was like a
shop.
Stephen Wright joke.
I had already had a tattoo, and I went with a lady friend, and she had partial of a tattoo in the area around your vagina. And I waited for 3 hours, and they called my name. I got my tattoo. They called her name, and they came in and they asked to see where she needed to get it 3 times. Then when it was her trying to sit in there, they said, "Can I see some ID?" And when she couldn't prove she was 18, they asked us to leave after checking her vagina 3 times.
Oh my God. That's like
Fringe benefits.
that's like T.I. and his daughter every time she leaves the house.
Yeah, right?
T.I.'s like, let me see that. Let me see that vagina. One more. Oh, one more. Okay.
Like when
I know
you
that cherry.
like when you go on a field trip in high school and they put tape on the door, he puts tape
Yeah.
across it. Scotch tape.
It says like the Hilton. You know how they put those on the
so you
toilet?
can't fraud it.
I love that at the hotels. They put that piece of paper across the toilet, like no one's gonna shit here but you for a little while. This is yours.
This is your place.
What does your sneeze say about you?
A new study says that how you sneeze can tell a lot about your personality. How pinching your nose signifies that you're a reserved character, while repetition means that you want to be the center of attention. Body language expert revealed that the meaning behind different types of sneezes tells who you are as a person. Robin Kermode spoke to some acronym, female, it's probably some dumb organization. They said
Whoa.
elbow sneezers like to follow the rules, and loud sneezers are alpha males. Does any of this hold true to you guys?
I will say we've all met that guy who's like sneezes out of control.
It spits everywhere.
Or like, yeah, the guy who's like, ah!
Yeah, in church. In friggin' church. Let me tell you, you're going to get arrested if you sneeze in public now. That's
Yeah.
like a new law.
Yeah,
I'm
I got
good,
a dirty
I'm with
look.
that. I'm good on that.
Beaten down.
I get allergies like pollen, and I was coughing at the vet. I took my dog to the vet, and people were like, in Brookline, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They
That's
saw
it.
me. They were like this.
They don't care
Brookline,
about
Cambridge,
them.
a couple different
They
cities.
were like this Saudi guy came up here and coughed his germs all over us.
Burn him!
They care more about their pets too than their family in most of those situations.
You're not supposed to hold the sneeze in. You heard that since you were growing
I
up.
think I do.
I have heard that.
Right?
I
You heard
do.
that. Do you hold yours in?
Yep, that's how the dinosaurs died.
If you fart,
You
sneeze,
actually believe in
burp at the
dinosaurs?
same time, right? You'll
That's
die.
how the dinosaurs.
What, you believe in dinosaurs?
Not that they're
Science.
still around, but I've seen them in a museum. I've seen their bones.
Okay, but do you think that they were really here?
Yeah,
Do you not?
yeah.
I don't believe in it.
You
I don't believe in it.
You don't believe in dinosaurs?
No, I think it's fake.
Get out of here. Is this true? Is this for real?
No, I really do.
I don't got a cross around his neck.
Because to Carlo's point, you
Yeah,
can
that's
arrange
Jesus
those
Christ,
bones.
Tonzo.
They didn't find
Okay.
those bones like that. They
That's
put them all
right.
together like Legos. Those
So,
aren't
like,
real.
to what?
I
Like,
just don't think they were really here. I think it's made up.
Like the New York Natural History Museum was like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make up
It wasn't them.
We're gonna put them in a museum, and then we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna let people come in for free and look at it.
It wasn't them. It was done years before them. They were just, it's kind of like the Bible.
Will, that's big space ice cream.
Scriptures.
I mean, I guess okay. I mean, I'll go.
We're all
with it.
different. We're all different.
You get him in the door with the fake
I'm
dinosaur
a big.
bones.
You're like a big dinosaur fan?
Well, I think
If you could be a dinosaur, which dinosaur would you want to be?
That's a good question.
I think I'd want to be.
You don't even know their names, and you love them so much.
I was gonna say I was like T-Rex is like your first thought, but that's like such an obvious choice.
It's very
like
limiting.
Michael Jordan, you know what I mean? So I think I'd want to be a brontosaurus. I like those long. I'd like to be up high, looking over everything.
Those are pretty cool.
You'd always be able to eat because every tree is food.
Everything's food, and no one, but still no one can eat you because you're
Yeah.
so big.
Do you think Fred Flintstone was real too?
No, Mr. Monday. But I do think dinosaurs are real. I think those, bones that they dig up, those huge bones. But I do think though that birds and
It's really
dinosaurs
wood.
are
It's not really bones.
Have you ever heard that theory that like a chicken and a dinosaur are like cousins? Like dinosaurs were just giant bird-like creatures. They think maybe more than lizard-like creatures.
The air
So
was
chickens
thinner.
are like.
Sorry, just drop some knowledge. That's
So chickens are like spawns of dinosaurs.
what they say.
Yeah.
I know that's
millions
that's
of
gonna
years
really
ago,
solidify.
an asteroid-sized
That's gonna make you a
asteroid hit
believer.
Earth and killed all the brontosauruses. And now
You
all
guys
we have
got to
left.
do an episode where you bring a dinosaur expert on here,
Oh, that'd
but
be
don't
great.
tell them until they sit in this chair
That we don't believe.
that
it.
you don't believe in it.
Right.
That would be
Like
great.
tell them that you just want to interview them, and then be like, and then when you're like,
We'll dispute everything they say.
Somebody from the
We'll have
Museum
all
of
and
sorts-
can
Science.
I please just come in
We'll
and
have all
watch?
sorts of questions made out.
Museum of Science they must have some experts to bring in.
I just want to watch and watch their fucking head explode.
And then you start
that'd be
crying.
We got to research that.
You got to
Because
start
no
crying
one-
and quoting the Bible.
Do you think ghosts? Do you believe in ghosts?
Not really. How about
Okay.
you? Have you had this
I don't.
experience?
No, I don't. I think I have this thing I talk about all the time, like cell phones, and we've proven it. No ghosts.
Or when you go to the psychic and they tell you like about a loved one because they can speak to ghosts and what's going to happen in the future. That's two mutant powers right there. Those are two. You don't get to be Professor X and
That is a weird
Kang.
one.
Different movies.
How much will you believe? Like,
Yeah.
and that's like.
I actually seen ghosts in a video of in a restaurant in Salem.
Yeah.
My friend owns.
It was real.
Yeah, and we're gonna do a movie on it, and we went over. Joe and I went over there, and we had the footage. We actually have it on my computer somewhere.
Oh, I'll
Look
watch
up.
that. I mean, I will say I'm not no kidding around. I've seen weird things, and I've been in rooms, in hotel rooms and stuff where I'm like, what the fuck? There's like a weird vibe. I believe in
Yeah.
kind of stuff like that, but like the classic ghost story that a lot of people tell you, I always feel like it can almost be explained. I've seen fog when I'm driving where I'm like, I bet that was someone thought they saw a ghost.
the story's never creative enough. It's always like the dumb telling of something like, I woke up and it was at the edge of the bed and it just disappeared into
Yeah.
vapor. It's like, okay.
But like, so we have these webcams that are on all the time, and all
Right.
these things. People watch them all the time. Like, we would know.
You would see something.
We would see some Fenway Park. Like,
But
you
they
know?
say those cameras aren't really strong enough. You have to get special cameras to get the ghost.
That's, I guess, yeah. That's
what they say.
I love those ghost hunting shows. It's like
Yeah.
watching a kid like tell his mom a never-ending lie. Yeah, and then a pirate. I didn't eat the cake. A guy came. He had an eye patch and he had a one leg, and his dog talked, and the dog was like.
I think
racist.
some people want to see their relatives and like they make up things, or they
for
just
sure.
pretend, or they
I had a
they
relative-
brainwash themselves that they saw.
Oh, yes.
Auntie Mabel. Or
I had a relative
Whoever.
who never believed in anything like that, and then she lost her mother, and then all of a sudden was like going to mediums. But those people can cost up to 200.
How about those mediums, though? They
Those
get all that
people upset me.
information.
I don't like the idea of that. There's an hourly
I'm
rate
surprised
on
something
the
upsets you.
afterlife. Everything
I
upsets
know.
me.
What's that mean? What's that red light mean?
That means we're
It means
talking
I
too
said
much.
something that was yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. Time to head for the hills.
I was gonna say. I thought it meant like get
There's
the
a fire,
fuck out of here.
fire alarm. Time to head for the hills.
People living at high altitudes are less likely to experience the worst effects of coronavirus because they're better adapted to having low oxygen levels in their blood. Low levels.
But they're less likely to suffer from it.
That
you
is
said.
correct.
Sorry to interrupt.
They're correct. No. COVID-19 has impacted people less in the high altitude areas like Bolivia, Ecuador, and Tibet. People in the hills are better adapted to the oxygen levels, and the sanitizing effects of the UV light is also killing the virus. Do you believe that?
I do. They say this about potheads too, by the way.
Really?
They say like potheads have like a lung. You've given your lung the workout every day. That coronavirus. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
But I think it's something. I do think there's something to this. Athletes train at higher altitudes.
Right.
Yep.
And they wear those masks too, those things that make you...
The Patriots can't play a mile high.
Yeah, exactly.
They're no good there.
The symptoms of the virus, the worst symptoms of the virus, seem to be the things dealing with the respiratory issues. And if your body's already predispositioned to deal with that, then it would make sense. But what I don't understand is if your average is whatever that is at the high altitude, experiencing the coronavirus should impact you to like almost like a dangerous level because of the amount of oxygen.
They should.
Are they saying... I mean, I kind of feel like hospitals should be at a high
That's what I was gonna say.
altitude.
Just build
them
a
up in the
hospital
mountains.
top of Mount Everest.
That's a good idea.
I also believed in the old
wheelchair
leper.
ramp.
We used to put lepers on islands, right? So why don't we just dedicate some island? I'm saying
You don't really hear much about lepers these days.
because
Is there a
they're
cure?
all gone.
Is there a cure?
The island.
Cure is put them on an island and forget about them.
Yeah.
The island of lepers?
We need a Corona island.
They should take it from Epstein, the one that
Oh, that's a great.
able to send them.
Yeah, and especially since kids can't get coronavirus, any of the ones left over won't get it. Any of like, imagine if you go back to Epstein's Island, it's like Jurassic Park. There's just feral children running all over the place.
Every
Like,
cruise ship that's not allowed to dock, you just send right to that island. Empty every prison over there.
that dude sucks, by the way.
Anyone close to you get the corona?
Yeah, unfortunately, a couple of my friends, a couple older people, no
Passed
one-
away?
Yeah, a couple a couple of my friends, unfortunately, lost like their
Parents.
grandparents and parents, and I knew, but I also know on the brighter side, I know a bunch of people who got it and
Beat it.
recovered.
Yeah.
Old people too. There was this guy on Barstool this week, Chris. He's like a neighborhood. Did you see the guy feeding the
I
dog?
didn't
He's
see
a
it.
Saudi guy. It was like this huge story. It cracks me up because I've just known the guy for years, and he's kind of he feeds all the dogs. But he had it. I live right around the corner from an old folks home, and I guess it like went through there. A ton of them had it.
They sent them back to old folks' home after being diagnosed.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking. I remember I made a joke. It like wasn't funny at all, but it was like they during the middle of this they were putting birthdays up like in the windows. They were like so and so's birthday is today. I'm like, you should put it on the next day. I'm like, the day's not over yet. You don't want to curse these people.
Why put the decorations up for nothing?
Yeah, and the COVID is going, but yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break.
That's on that note.
There's a brand new Be a Man that's going to post right now.
Yeah.
We did it in memory of you.
Be a man.
Check
Don't
out
get
this Be a
sad
Man.
when you talk
We'll be
about
right
old
back.
people dying. Be a man.
If you're not bleeding when you're taking a dump, you're not trying hard enough. Be a man.
I mean, there's something to be said for that, wiping your butt till it bleeds.
Dude, I've done it.
Yeah, on purpose? Or?
I actually, I was.
Oh, that's sick.
Speaking of quarantine, I was like, I could tell by how like my mental state was, by how bloody
Really?
the butthole was.
Do you ever get it checked, tested or checked out at the doctor, or just kind
I'm just fucking around. I think it's because I wipe my nose with it first.
I like having blood. I like having blood in my underwear. I don't know about you guys, but either side.
You
it's fine
like
by
having
me.
blood in your underwear?
Yeah.
I don't
it-
drink, so I don't
It
know.
makes you feel like a man.
Like a
You know
reminder.
you're alive.
Blood in the underwear usually signifies the opposite of that, but
I remember an episode of Empty Nest. Do you remember that TV show?
Yeah, I do remember
Where a
Empty
kid came in with blood in his underwear, and it was not a happy episode of Empty Nest. That's all I'm gonna say. We brought up Epstein. Callback. A very sad episode of Empty Nest.
he sat on a champagne bottle.
What do we got, Klaus? What do we got next?
You know the world as we know it is in a state of chaos, and there's a lot of things that we need to fix, but I want to show you guys a few design fails that have happened since the lockdown has happened. You guys, we want your input, all right?
Let's go.
Yeah.
The first one is from, is it Nice, France? Nice, France?
Nice. I've been there.
Nice.
I don't
No.
wanna- yeah, I don't want to brag.
Yeah, I've never been.
Just did the.
Sounds beautiful, but the
It is
city,
beautiful.
they don't like bikers. What's going on with
Biggest
this?
airport.
They cut
out
Lance
there.
Armstrong was in Tour de France. And
Ah.
they hate his guts.
Yeah, that's they hit their nuts.
I saw the Tour. I saw
You know what I mean? Yeah, this will get rid of all the cancer in your bones.
the Lance Armstrong 30 for 30.
Yeah.
I saw it during the pandemic. It was pretty good. He's a real nasty prick.
Yeah, he's a prick, and I've heard stories from like radio DJs and stuff who have interviewed him that he's like a massive prick, like over the top.
Doesn't it take so much more energy to be that way,
Crow
too?
used to bang him.
He's like beyond a type A personality. I don't even know what you would call him. A double
Yeah,
A.
you know what the worst thing about Lance Armstrong is? He let his ball, which he probably gave himself cancer from using so many steroids.
Yeah,
And then waited
essentially.
until his testicle.
Why would
was
it go to your balls though? You shoot it there?
You just get it where you get it, but he
Yeah.
waited until his testicle was the size of like a grapefruit before he went to the doctor.
It was that big?
Well, he
Yeah.
kept driving. He kept driving.
He
and
kept doing
driving.
all
Can't-
stuff.
How did we not see it? Isn't he in a spandex
But they said if he had
suit?
gone in
He tucked it up his ass.
if he had gone in first sign of trouble,
Yeah.
it would have been like,
Oh, yeah.
but he like just was like, he ignored it. Maybe he was being
And then he
trying
just
to be a
couldn't
man.
walk anymore. It was like,
Be a man. Let your ball grow to the size of a cantaloupe. Win the Tour de France 7 times. Be a man.
That is
yeah.
crazy.
and then come back and do blood transfusions.
That's the only reason I'm going to the doctor, is if my balls hurt.
Right. Oh yeah.
What a guy
You
though.
a female doctor or you got a male doctor?
I'll take one with a nice set of knockers if that's an option. Did I get the choice?
That was a throwback.
No, I wonder.
Nice set of knockers.
Do you even have a doctor? Do you have a doctor?
What?
Do you have a doctor?
I have the guy from our show. I call him every time I need opiates.
Okay.
It was actually great you didn't remember his name.
Yeah, I knew his name. I'm not going to say it. You guys want to do
Dr.
another
Gold.
one? Don't say it.
Good job, Jesse.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's ruin someone else's career here. Walking down the stairs should be oh no, wait, I'm sorry. The bathroom is a private place where you can collect your
Rattled.
thoughts. Yeah. And do your business. This public bathroom in Russia allows you to be judged while you're taking a dump.
Oh man, what's up with this guy?
Is that a men's room or a women's room?
This is like that house from the earlier.
You can
clip.
tell when you're looking every time.
But I'm saying, where?
Yeah.
I mean, is that a unisex bathroom?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know, like
Well, yeah, for a man, it's not. If you're
Oh,
just a man
wait,
taking
the
a
answer
pee.
is in the picture. What's that toilet seat, up or down?
Oh shit.
it's a,
Whoa, whoa.
Detective
some women like to
McCluskey.
sit right on the porcelain.
Oh, yeah.
McCluskey
Some
and Isles.
girls like to crap right in the porcelain. They have a big ass, and that's what they like to do, and they like the cool feeling.
That
Especially in
always
Russia.
that always amazed me. Like when somebody's like at that level of obesity.
They like the cool feeling.
They like the cool feeling.
When you're denying the existence of dinosaurs,
your
you like
nuts
a cool
ever-
feeling on your asshole.
Has your nuts ever gone in the water of the toilet?
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have
Sometimes.
you ever flushed your nuts down the toilet?
No.
No?
Yeah, you gotta drive to
The Lance
Swampscott to
Armstrong.
go pick them up. You gotta go to the water treatment plant. You're like, hey, you found a pair of nuts, and they're like, that's you. Holy shit, we've been tugging on them for an hour. You're like, I know.
You ever see somebody's ass that was so big that you start to question how they can accurately shit?
All
into
the
a-
time.
Yeah, like
or have sex. You ever see a couple out?
Yeah.
Two of them. Two huge ass couples together, and then you see like the 1-year-old baby, and you're like, there's no way.
And the baby's beautiful.
Trying to figure out the geometry.
No, the baby's beautiful.
The baby's always beautiful, right?
there's a
now.
Pythagorean theorem involved.
Because it can't hold a 2-liter of Mountain Dew yet.
I think that's a kid's bathroom, and that's a parent so they can check. No, so they can check. A parent can check it, not the way you would, Klaus, but that's like
How many quarters do I have to put in before I?
But that's like a parent so he can check his kid go in
It's
the
a
bathroom.
kid's bathroom. It's a one-way mirror.
It's a training bathroom.
No, it's a bathroom. I bet it's a mirror on the other side, right? Person in there thinks they're shitting.
Maybe that's a painting. Hold on. Maybe that's a painting, and that's not really looking into a bathroom. It's a painting on the thing.
I went to a bar in New Orleans
Could
that
be.
had a room like this. You
All right,
ever
what's
been to
the
that
next
bar?
one? Jesus.
Walking downstairs should be a pretty simple thing unless you're doing it on these stairs. Imagine being in a nightclub,
this is like-
doing 3 shots of whiskey, and then trying to make it to your car door.
A lot of hotels have this.
What a horrible carpet layer. That guy sucks. He
Yeah.
did a horrible job.
Yeah.
He did a horrible job. He did backwards. That's not a patent.
It's kind of like one of those things, though. If you look at it long enough, you can see. I can
All right. What business would this be in? Let's think about that. I think it's a shoe store.
No, I would say. Do we know? Do we
No,
have
we
the
don't
answer?
know.
I would assume it was the dentist office that molested you. It looks like that.
That's what. Yeah.
They
What
could be a-
state?
Oh yeah, I remember crying in that bottom step there. I sat down there.
If you had to pick a state, what state would
Oh,
that
that
be
looks
in?
like a Connecticut Holiday Inn to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've stayed in a lot of those.
I say Wyoming.
Or even like Foxwoods has like Foxwoods changes their carpet like once a fucking month. It
This
feels
staircase always leads to a continental
used to.
breakfast. I think we
like.
can
Yeah, they used
agree.
to- Yeah, exactly.
What country would that be in if you had to pick a country?
Ishmerica.
You know what? That's the kind of thing like someone from a foreign country would be like, look at you know America's a nice country, man, because look at this fucking carpet, man. Like
They have
there
murals
you go.
on the floor.
Like bet you never see a carpet like this back home, bro.
I
The
think
champs
it's
here.
Pakistan.
Yeah, it's Pakistan.
some guy's wife. So like, I'm a decorator, and this is postmodern.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I see a lot of, like, when I haven't stayed in a hotel in a while, but when I did, you wake up so early and you're like bleary-eyed, and that's why people like to stay at the chain, you know? Like you get into one of those chains, like a Holiday Inn card, and then it's like every night's the same.
Yeah.
They all look the same.
You never get old.
You never get old. Now, I heard they're going to get rid of front desk staff, one of the first things, because of this. You're going to go in and you just...
Get rid of everything.
You'll wave your key.
This is ridiculous.
I know.
You're getting rid of, I mean...
Do you want to deal with the people?
Bowling.
You ever go to the Market Basket in Salem? You want to?
No,
you
I've
wouldn't
never
want it
gone to-
automated?
I've never gone to a market. Well, one time I did. I went to one market.
Automate the whole fucking thing.
Bragging?
No, I'm just saying. I don't go to that place. I don't go there.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Monday?
I just think that it's just... I can't really say what I want to say. I just don't like it.
It's I don't like I've never been a fan of like the off-brand stuff. If it's, I'm just like,
right.
for $1.25, let me feel wealthy.
Yes.
If that's all it costs.
Like you have to wear like Nikes or Converse. You one of those guys?
Yeah, but especially like when it comes between Kraft macaroni and cheese and like the Stop and Shop brand, it's like even when I was broke, I'd be like, for $1.50 to feel a little bit better, that's worth $1.50.
You know what's funny is I used to work.
And it always tastes better.
I used to work in let's say I used to work in food service manufacturing, and often we would make 2 batches of the same thing and put that logo that you feel comfortable with it on and sell it for $2.50, and then sell the other one at the reduced rate under a private label, and it's often the same stuff.
It often is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you eat Pop-Tarts?
We also pissed in every.
You're a Pop-Tart guy?
everything we made.
I am.
I could tell.
It's a big snack of mine.
Yeah.
The frosted strawberry.
Oh, what about chocolate?
Chocolate's good, but I like that frosted strawberry.
Cinnamon ones are pretty good.
I kind of believe there's some health benefits to it. Like not heavy, right? But if you're completely starving, that's one of the better choices in a convenience store.
Curbs you.
A Pop-Tart?
Yeah.
I like them, but I don't know if they're healthy. but
Maybe
they're
they
good.
should make a cauliflower ear flavored Pop-Tart. It's a little more crunchy.
A birthday cake size Pop-Tart would be pretty cool. Like a sheet cake size Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
That's a
make
good
that happen.
idea. You know,
Like
or
a Fudgy the Whale, but Pop-Tart. Let's start that.
ice cream, Pop-Tart ice cream would be
Yeah.
good.
Okay. All right.
I like to break up.
Alright.
Ooh, ice cream sandwich with Pop-Tarts?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
A scoop
me.
of vanilla,
Shit.
Fuck me.
chocolate
Yeah.
with a scoop of vanilla.
Now we're
Yeah.
talking.
Neapolitan.
Hot though? Do you heat them up so they're hot and then the thing's cold in the middle?
No, because then it'll become. It won't maintain its stability.
Then you pay a guy prostitute to
would
jerk
taste
off on it, right? And you eat it. Right?
A little like
Am I right?
Winston, huh?
More jerk off jokes
All right.
in
Well,
2020.
Cauliflower dick.
Yeah. That's like after 10 years in porn.
That's what
Hey,
Lance
John, why'd
Armstrong-
you quit? I got cauliflower dick. Once you get it, you ever try and get rid of cauliflower dick? Exactly, because you can't.
It's the bane of the industry.
People have to jerk off with rubber gloves on now because of the pandemic.
If you're jerking somebody else off.
No, yourself.
Oh,
Even
okay.
yourself.
There's some guys in my neighborhood who they're like let's just call them what they are, like the bums, like the drunks. Not even like
They live on the street or they have apartments?
I don't even honestly know, but they're definitely like old-fashioned, kind of like drinking out of a bottle, and they never changed. Like the whole fucking pandemic quarantine, they stayed like on their spot on the street, no mask, drinking, talking to everyone.
Didn't affect them.
And they're fine.
Again.
Well,
They can't get any worse.
I remember
Yeah.
thinking like they're gonna be the first ones to go, like when it started.
that's interesting. Is like seeing the homeless guy that you saw before COVID, perfectly fine, nothing. The economy didn't hurt him. The disease didn't hurt him. The riots in the streets didn't hurt him.
Yeah.
That guy is resilient.
Where do
They
get their-
probably love
Where
it.
do
We
they
should
get
bring one
their
in.
mail delivered to?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Probably not a lot of correspondence in the homeless.
That's why
guy
nobody
life.
Maybe
One of
to
the
one of their
publishers-
relatives. I mean, I don't know where. Like, because maybe they
Not a
get.
lot of bills
You're
going.
like, hold on, you're a homeless guy. You're like, oh fuck my, oh fuck my phone bill. Shit, man. You know, they
I'm
don't-
late on Comcast again.
One of the bonuses of being homeless is like not a lot of attachments.
Yeah.
Your warranty is overdue.
Yeah, they're like,
What do we got next,
oh
Cliff?
shit, I think I got invited to a wedding. I remember one time seeing a guy donating. He was donating stuff to the homeless. You know when you go to a homeless shelter, you drop, and this one guy was donating tons of cake mix. And I remember thinking to myself, like, at what fucking point in a homeless guy's life is he like, A, let's have a stove and bake a cake, but 2, let's celebrate anything enough to bake a cake. Like, there's no celebrations. There's no, like, it's Jim's birthday!
Every one of those homeless guys is using that cake batter to cut Coke.
Yeah, it's just like cake.
That half a pound of Coke just became 2 pounds of funfetti.
Do you think all homeless guys are either drunks or alcoholics or drug addicts?
Insane. There's a woman I see in Boston all the time who's like, I feel so bad for her because she's just clearly insane.
Right.
She clearly
Why don't
thinks
they lock
she's
her
on
up?
Mars. Because I don't think you legally can, and I think, I have no idea, honestly. She probably takes medication for a while or something.
You know what, though? If you
I
had
feel
sex
bad
with
for
her, nobody would believe it. So.
She like, what does she do? Like,
because you could tell she like looks, she could be normal, and every now and then you see her, she's got all nice clothing on, so someone's taking care of her somewhere, but she's just insane.
she probably robs.
She has no idea what's going on. I feel so bad for her because she's just like, you can tell.
Do you give her money?
I've given her I've called the van to come pick her up because sometimes she wants to go to Pine Street and she can't like get herself there. But like there is a guy like that in my neighborhood who was like, he thinks he's on some other planet and he wore the mask. I was like, this guy's wearing a fucking mask the whole time. He would go out. I think that's hilarious. He was like, you know what, Superman? You know what, Big Bird? We're wearing masks. What's going on?
He was sticking up places. That's why.
Like, because if we don't, they'll read our thoughts and we'll get COVID. Come on. You know what I mean? It was like.
We have interesting homeless in Boston.
You're a real humanitarian.
I kind of am. My girlfriend gets really mad at me. I like to give like, you ever give a $5 bill to a homeless guy? It costs you almost nothing, and they look at you like, wow.
The best thing to do.
Wow, you're a great guy.
The annoying ones who'd like walk up to your car. That's what I say to them. You get change for 100. Then they get away from you real quick.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the guy coming up. I mean, I'll be honest. I totally discriminate in many ways. Like, number one thing is like clothing. I'm like, if this guy's got fresh shit on, I don't care if he got it this morning. It's not selling me on giving me any money.
Right.
I'm especially if I think a guy's just a drunk, he's getting money from me.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like
lie about
the alcoholics.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I kind of feel a kinship with them.
That'd be like if a guy ran up to you and he's like, I have these 2 girls, they want to bang me right now. I'm $10 short on the hotel room. Yeah, dude, right
That
here you go.
one.
That's the sell. People are saying I got to feed my kids. Never say that. Say a man thing and you'll get it.
Oh,
You
yeah,
got
some
Dan Bolger
guys
on,
write
right?
that.
Me and
Yeah,
Dan
yeah.
Bolger,
Yep.
a girl jumped in our car. Did I ever tell you
No.
that story? She jumped in the back. A guy, me and Dan were coming home from a
Prostitute?
gig. It was like, I don't really know what was going on, but
They
this
didn't
dude
pay.
was kicking her ass in the middle of the street on Mass Ave. And we were like, it wasn't even like I like drove up and stopped. It was so dark that I drove up and I was like, what the fuck? And before I even knew what was going on.
She escaped?
She jumped in the back of my car and like instinct took over and I started driving. I swear to God, we sat there 30 seconds, total silence. Me, Dan Bolger, this chick in the back of my car, breathing deep. And I'm like,
How'd you break the ice?
this is how I broke it. I was like, seemed like that was pretty messed up back there. Like, total white guy. Like she was white too, but I mean, she was breathing like a fucking, like an animal, like a rabbit. You know what I mean? She was like, I felt so bad for her. And honest to God, I swear, I'm not even kidding you. It wasn't even like they were both so fucked up, like on drugs. Like everyone seemed kind of like, it seemed like a personal issue or whatever. But she's like, just take me. We were like zooming away, you know? He tried to pull her out of my car and stuff as I'm zooming away. And then Bulger didn't say a word. And then she's like, she goes, just take me to the bus stop. There's a bus stop at South Bay. I'm like, all right, because it was like a mile away. I dropped her out there. The whole thing took 1 minute and 30 seconds, but it was like, and she goes, do you need anything? Like, I wasn't going to give her a ton of money or anything. She goes, I don't have any money to get on the bus. So I was like, all right, here's like $3. You know, I had like 3 singles and like a 20. So I was like, yeah. 3 singles, come on, you know? And gave it to her, and then she was gone. And me and Bolger was like, what the fuck was that? That was crazy. And then I remember everyone was like, you got worked, you know? I'm like, if she wants to take 3 punches to the face, jump in any car. Like, we could have been murderers too. It wasn't like a great neighborhood.
You didn't have a Weezer t-shirt on that she made you feel comfortable.
like my car's a piece of shit. Like,
I mean, you can't talk about Honda like that.
I mean, the brand is great, but I have a huge dent. I wasn't in my car. All right, I was driving a rental. But she got in, and it was crazy. But yeah, a couple people were like, you got hosed, and I was like, dude, we gave her like $3. Even if it was a performance, worth $3.
Yeah.
To me, not to her. But
How long have you and her been together now?
well, let me see. I tested positive for hepatitis C 3 months ago. So 4 months. I haven't seen her ever again. She's probably dead.
She probably took that.
What do we got next,
Bought
boss?
a plane ticket with that $3. With over 13% of Americans out of work spending money, you can't afford to spend. I'm sorry, I completely blew this off. Look at this picture of this asshole trying to use an ATM that's too tall.
Whoa.
Well, he's a real short guy.
What the fuck is this?
It's
what's
only
that?
2 feet off the ground.
Do you think there was a staircase that like allowed you to get up to it, and they didn't want people to use it, and then they removed it?
There was a podium.
This whole thing is weird.
Or do you think that that's like an infant dressed in like a Sears catalog outfit? I don't know.
Something out of Gulliver Travel here. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of what Jay Leno would have said about this. Like, yeah, this is one way to protect your password from people.
Yeah. That's one way to avoid fees.
I don't want to look at my savings debit either.
Yeah,
It's
that's a strange one.
no, it's a Guatemalan bank.
He might be a dwarf.
All right, I have a theory. No, never mind.
What do you got?
I was gonna say like maybe it's one of those art. Maybe it's actually flat. No.
Painted?
Yeah, maybe it's just like painted, and it's just like art, and it's like a graffiti that's kind of artistic.
Maybe it's an arcade.
Ah.
It could be an arcade.
Do you think he's making a withdrawal on the ATM or a deposit on the thing underneath it?
Yeah, they could just be like a hole in the wall.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's
He's
a
getting-
glory hole, but this is how you get around the.
That's a really strange.
Glory hole in plain sight.
I tell you, when I'm at the ATM, it usually feels more like I'm getting buck fucked. I couldn't even say. You know what? I was second guessing that joke so bad as I was saying it that I couldn't. My mouth was like, "Don't say butt fucked, you hack." So then my brain took over and I said buck fucked.
I like buck fuck.
It kind of works with the ATM.
When's the last time that happened?
What? My
Butt fuck.
butt fucked?
Buck fuck.
I've never been butt fucked.
I hope not.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
did. You know Jim Florentine? You remember him?
Jimmy?
I remember him. He's still doing a ton of good stuff. But a lot of people like know him from Crank Yankers, which hasn't been on for a while. He was special ed, like you got mail.
Oh, that was him?
He was but he's also a lot of people know him from radio. He's on Barstool now. He's killing it. So we were on a Zoom show together, like Chrissy Mayer was hosting, and they were like, it was never have I ever. And they go like, never have I ever like hooked up with a member of the same sex, right? And I saw Florentine look right, he was looking at me like he expected me to say
That you had?
that I had.
He was mad that you
I was
didn't-
like, I haven't, and I was like, he was looking right at me like.
He was looking at you on Zoom?
Yeah, but I could tell
You
he
guys
was
can
like
look at each
really
other like-
expecting me. I'm pretty. I'm telling
the
you.
Brady Bunch.
One time before we did the Anthony Cumia show, he was like, "Why?" He was like, "Why? Well, why are you in New York? Why are you in New York?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm here to see you, Jim." Like kind of kidding around, I think he totally thought I was like, "Here to see you, Jim." It's like and I think from that moment he was like, "This guy's a little fucking weird."
He was putting out feelers.
Sometimes I think I know people better than I do because I've listened to them on radio for so long.
Right.
So when I meet a guy like him, I'm like, fucking Jim Florentine, my old pal
Yeah.
who has no idea.
This is my fantasy, not
Yeah.
yours, is it?
But I've opened for him a couple times, and I opened for him at Nick's Comedy Stop, and these people after the show were giving him a hard time. They were like, "We didn't like your jokes about like mentally handicapped people." No, actually, they go, "We didn't like your jokes about women. That wasn't cool." And he was like, "So I just can't make fun of women. It's like my jokes about mentally handicapped people. You like that? You laughed at that. All right. So why don't you just send me like a list of jokes I can talk about? And I'll go off of whatever you tell me because like I'm not a comedian." And I was like, it was like the best way to handle that shit.
I think that's amazing that anybody, at like this point, at the beginning of comedy, I could imagine walking up to a comedian and having a point of view. But at this day and age, to walk up to somebody and tell them, I don't like your joke, like what do they feel like will be accomplished with that?
In no part of my
When you
life.
walk through the door, you gotta just expect. You gotta go with
Why
it.
would you wait in line to tell somebody?
Would you do it with? In no part of my life would I wait in line to tell anyone something negative. Like you don't go, "Hey, can you bring the chef out here?" Like to say, "Kind of sucked,"
So I can ruin his
Yeah.
day.
or like you don't go up to a band you know, a guy's putting his guitar away. You're like, hey, mediocre show tonight.
It's like a third grade teacher who wanted to see what you did and then put like 3 red marks on your performance and let you know about it.
I didn't notice it as much. It got worse with the shows like American Idol and like The Voice. People started to feel, as those shows gained popularity, more and more assholes started coming up to you after shows. Like, you know, I like the first joke, but the second joke wasn't for me. I really liked, and then they started to use the lingo. I love the way you close, and you're like, just shut the fuck up.
The world has gone soft. Let's face it. It has gone soft.
Yeah, but I think it's coming back hard right now.
It's going to come back.
I
It
think we'll
really
get a
is.
boomerang.
I'm very
We'll get a
positive
boomerang.
about that.
No, that's for real though. I
Yeah,
think comedy is the
Yeah,
the,
people want to laugh. They're going to want to
She's-
laugh more than ever.
the stuff's not cutting it
You know?
anymore. Like the bullshit that's kind of been cutting it.
People have been watching some dumbass shit for the past 3 months. They want to go out and
The
experience
same thing
some
over and
shit.
over again.
Yeah.
You know what's? I love Joe Rogan. I actually love Ellen DeGeneres too. I think she's super funny.
She's cool.
But it was funny to me how like a month and a half into quarantine, people started to turn on Joe Rogan and Ellen. After years of loving those people without any ever
didn't hear
thinking of
that.
it.
I didn't-
Oh yeah, people were
I
starting
knew
to turn
the
on
Ellen
the
shit.
internet.
I didn't hear the Rogan shit.
Yeah, both of them were undeserved, I thought. But it was funny to me how it was like kind of like when you're trapped at home with your parents, you start, or anyone, you start to look at them more closely and just things get on your nerves, right? So it was like, as Americans, who's our mom and dad? Ellen and Joe, right?
That's scary.
And people started to just find faults in them they'd never seen before. They were always there.
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden they're like, you know, Joe, he's always recommending DMT. That's annoying, you know? It's like, that's what we love about Joe. But, you know?
It's interesting that like for like a clear, honest opinion, you kind of have to look at a stand-up comedian today. You can't look at a news anchor that isn't
The truth tellers.
It's weird.
It is kind of that way, though, like, or at least
You're kind of built in with that thing where you're not necessarily owned by anybody. You're entitled to have an opinion. People want to hear about it, and you have a little bit of license to go further. So,
well, it's funny. I actually think it's funny that we're allowed to be moderate, or we're allowed to like make fun of both sides, which is
Right,
kind of a
right.
gift. Because if you're really into that shit, you can't make fun of both sides because your team has to win. But if you have no team,
yeah,
it's like I have no team. I'm like on team. Let's not die in a fucking fire together.
I got Facebook for the show and for other things, and I would say probably 85% of the Facebook friends that I have are comedians, and none of the shit that I see every day is funny. If that,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what
Well,
that's
maybe they have to
about.
be out in public. You know, they need to interact with people.
No, you
They're not
should
good
be funny
typists.
because that's what you're trying to do.
Are you talking about like those comedian message boards though?
Oh, the comedian message boards, just like a
Just
daily
their own
post
personal
or whatever.
page, you
like,
mean, like-
you almost have to look at yourself as a brand to some degree. That like you
Right.
can't
Well,
one
it-
day say that tell an abortion joke and then the next day argue against it politically, or you know what I mean. You kind of
Well, it's weird though, right? Because nowadays you almost just by saying something like very true, it's like a joke because everyone's so full of shit. So it's like somehow just being like a straight shooter makes you like a comedian.
There's not many.
But there's not
Yeah,
many anymore.
not many anymore.
And it's like, and it's okay to like start to. I mean, just for example, it's like okay to not like Donald Trump if you liked him last year.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you a bad person to change your or vice versa. Or go like, hey, like I'm starting to like this guy. You know what I mean? It's like but now people feel like they got to be locked in everything. Like, and I think that's because of social media. They're like, well,
Social media,
I've
the
made
news.
statements everyone thinks like
Yeah.
a celebrity now.
you're
I've made
beholden to
statements in the
a
past.
Twitter message you put out 6 years ago, and you're like, I guess that's me.
I guess that's me forever. It's like fucking who cares?
People think they're a lot more important than they really are.
They do.
That's
Well,
what it
that's
comes down to it. You
with
know?
the Black Lives Matter. I noticed that because people were like, use your platforms.
Right.
I'm like, who the fuck? If everyone has it, it's not really a platform.
Right, right,
Of all my black friends, I think all of them would say, just shut the fuck up to me.
right.
I think I was doing what I was supposed to.
Yeah, it's like, or you're not going to solve it by just
Right.
nothing new is ever going to be said about that. It's
No.
like, don't act like a prick. That's maybe number
You
one.
can contribute.
Be a good person.
Yeah, be a good
exactly.
person.
That's how you fix.
But you know what
90%
though?
of the problem.
Everyone in this room, like I know all you guys, like
Yeah.
it's the problem. We're not the problem, so it's
No.
like so easy for people who like, have black friends and like hang out with black people to be like, I'm not, because this is kind of like my thing that I've realized. I've always been like, what man? Like I've always had black buddies. I've grown up with black. My first kiss was a black girl. Like I voted for Obama. What more do you want? Like it's fine. But then you go, we're just living in fucking the Northeast. We're in Massachusetts. We don't hang out with like fucking those type of dudes.
Bad people, yeah.
Like if you were in a room and someone was like some total, I hate Jews or something, you'd be like, okay, I'm not coming back here. Like,
That's
maybe
what
not
killed
Jews.
me.
I know you guys all hate them, but no, I'm just kidding.
Hey, there's good and there's good and bad in everything.
No, but I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like, you all know that.
Well, what killed me with Facebook is like I'm not super familiar with Facebook, but I would imagine I only see the messages that my friends send me. So when people start posting stuff, I'm like, you're only posting this to your group of friends. How many horrible racists are you friends with? Like,
Oh, dude.
See what I'm saying? Like, pay to boost your post so that asshole in Kentucky that needs to hear it hears it. Don't tell me. I gave you a ride yesterday.
Well, I have like, the Twitter's great, right? But it's like funny to me, a lot of my Twitter followers who love it when I do something that they consider non-PC all these years. They're like, I love it, man. Go against that PC, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
anything.
I can't stand the word PC.
There's no rules
It's a
in
word.
comedy, There's no rules.
Yeah.
Like words don't have fucking power. Like say what you want to say, and then as you say something about their guy that they don't like, they're the biggest like unfollow. How dare you?
Hey, the way I look at it, you're either a douche or you're not. No matter what you are or who you are.
I agree.
Damn.
Very simple.
That's a good T-shirt, actually.
know?
That'd be a good I Love Mondays. You're a douche or you're not.
Well, this is coming from a guy who likes blood in his underwear, so.
I'm disappointed when I wake up with no blood in my underwear.
The
What's
old-
the last one we got here,
Yo,
Klaus?
crimson
We'll do one more
jeans.
here. This last one was an elevator in a Polish hotel. Obviously, I don't know where to
I
start.
love a good Polish joke.
Yeah. What's your favorite Polish joke? Anybody got one?
How many Polacks it take to change a light bulb?
How many?
4. 4 people.
How many times did it take to tell a Polish joke?
The joke is, once a hold the Polish. That's the joke. Greatest moment.
I'm not even gonna tell it. I'm not even gonna tell it because I learned that from a Polish guy.
That was as funny as it gets. I don't think I would be able to beat that.
All right, listen. Next week we got Zolo on.
Oh,
Your
shit.
boy.
I love Don.
You're gonna come up and
I
see
miss
him?
Zolo.
I
texted him today.
I hate to say it. I hate to admit I miss the guy.
It's been forever. Well, was he? Yeah, because since the lockdown, we haven't seen him, right?
He was at the very beginning.
Yeah, he was the last guy.
He
I think.
ordered. He got a couple dogs online. He sent them back, and then he got another one.
He got
hear about that?
dogs?
Wait, really?
Yo, yeah.
Dogs online?
Oh, he got a Saint Bernard, and
He can return a dog?
He returned a Saint Bernard and a Great Dane.
Are you kidding?
No,
It wasn't that great.
no, but he didn't know. He didn't know the Great Dane was going to be that big.
I want a Great Dane, actually.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, how does he not
I can get
know
you a
that?
used one.
He ended up getting.
You know, imagine if I went home today with a Great Dane. Like, we just got a puppy. I'd be like, what's one more mouth to feed, hon?
And then Zolo comes over and it's weird.
Yeah, Zolo.
And the
comes-
dog's like, "Oh, hi."
And then Zolo wants him back, and we have to go to court. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, talk to him
Bulger
about it.
told me Bulger's like got diabetes. He's open about it, and he was like going to fucking on jogs with Zolo like 3 weeks into this. I'm like, what are you fucking doing? Going to the North Shore. You guys had more cases than we did.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
you going up there where it's orange? We're still in light yellow.
So you're gonna come back in a couple weeks?
Yeah,
Another
man.
month or
I have
something?
some-
Get you back up on the show?
Yeah, I'm like,
All right.
I'm psyched. I kind of want to. I hope. I don't want to.
We'll get you in the
I want to do
rotation.
a Be a Man. I want to be in a Be a Man.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
wrote some good BMAs you did on that video you sent in to us during the quarantine.
Yeah, it's
those
like
are some
just-
good
it's
ones.
just kinda like
Did we
my-
use any of those,
I
Philip?
show them my chick all the time. I'm like, look at this. She doesn't get it. That's like my favorite part, you know?
Right, right.
I'm like, look at this, and then I watch
either
her
get
not
it or
get
you don't.
I like to watch her not get it, and then I'm like, that's right. You don't get it. That's why it's for me.
Look at this thing you don't get.
We're
Yeah.
gonna finish up the show with the last part of the Giannoni interview.
Yeah.
So let's do a Monday on 3 and just watch it. We'll see you guys next week. Monday on 3. 1, 2, 3. Monday! So, the show Entourage. I heard that was about you and Wahlberg. It was based about you guys?
Absolutely. It's about us. It's probably about a good 6 of us. I lived in the house, in the mansion with Mark, and a couple of us did. And, there were some guys that were like outside of that immediate crew that lived in the house that were our friends and hung out. And including Mark's manager, Steve Levinson, who was pretty much the driving force to get that TV show made. But we originally made a documentary about my rap group, and, Mark directed it. I was opening up for NSYNC and Pete, Puff Daddy, and Genuine. out here at the Anaheim, Coliseum. I did a concert in front of 35,000 out here. And Mark wanted to document the preparation of getting ready to do the show and doing the concert actually at the arena and all the people and backstage. And it was really interesting. And they spun the entourage off of that. And, they did a nice job, and, I had a job behind the scenes where I would like wrangle chicks and find models and sprinkle them around the show and around the guys. So it would give a good look, because when they first made the pilot episode, I was like, where's the girls? And they were like, what? I was like, dude, we're with Mark Wahlberg. He's like got the abs. There's chicks chasing the car down when we leave the restaurant. I'm like, there's no chicks in this friggin' show. You guys need chicks. They're like, well, can you get some? I'm like, I'm dating a penthouse pet right now. I can have her and her friends come down with a couple other models. You guys are doing a reshoot on when? Monday? They're like, yeah. I'm like, I'll bring 15 models by. You got to pay them, though. I bring the 15 of the hottest broads in L.A. down. HBO produces Jaws drop. They were like, oh, my God. Can you put 3 over here, 2 at the table with Vince and E? I want 4 walking in over here. I want 1 in the car pulling up, and then the rest is history. They were like, hey, Jay, we got an idea. Can you do this for every episode? And I got a job.
I was at a function in Miami, and Leonardo DiCaprio was there, and I had my Monday coat on, and he was asking people, who's this whack job in the Monday coat? And he's, he's this Boston guy. They go, he's this Boston guy. So then he comes over to me. He's like, my boy's from Boston, and he mentioned you. You guys are boys?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty good friends with Leo.
I didn't know you guys were tight like that. I thought he was, then I showed him, I had your number in my phone. He's like, tell him I said, what's up?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, Leo's a great dude, man. He's a very down-to-earth guy. I met him at his 18th birthday party, actually. I was like fresh out in L.A., and I made some friends. I was good friends with Soleil Moonfry, Punky Brewster. And she took me, she was a good friend of mine. I used to live with her. Her and her mother, when I first got to L.A., they were like, if you will, my sponsors. I lived with her for a couple months. And she took me around Hollywood, and that's how I met everybody. I met Leo and, Tatiana Ali. And
when you're out in LA, they love the Bostonians. Let's face it, the accent, Italian, come on.
When I first met Leo at his birthday party and he heard my accent, he immediately took me to his family and goes, go ahead, talk. And I was like, what do you mean talk? What do you want me to say? And they were like, talk. He started making fun of me. Yeah. Like, it was cool, it was funny. And it's just a coincidence that, cut to like whatever, 20 years later, his dialect coach for the Departed, and he gets me a little role, and he takes me to Scorsese, and the friendship was always there. He's a special guy, he holds a place, very dear to my heart because he's a dear friend of mine, and he looked out for me and made sure that I got a job and I made some good money. And he was like, look, you're very valuable here. You can show us around, you can teach us the accent, you can look at the script and tell us what's authentic, what's not. You can introduce us to a couple of wise guys, which I did.
And that's one of the best
and
movies.
It all worked
that's one of the best movies of all time. And you had a huge role behind the scenes that nobody even knows about. Now they know about it.
Yep, absolutely.
What do you got coming up? Don't you have like something big coming up besides the music video? Isn't there a couple movies you're working on?
Yeah, well, I have 7 movies coming out right now. I just did a movie called Lansky, the Meyer Lansky story, and that's with Harvey Keitel. Yeah, it's going to be a big one. Sam Worthington, my buddy Danny A is in there. I mean, this is going to be a big movie. Eitan Rockaway wrote and directed it. I'm excited about that. I have a couple other movies coming out. I did this movie with these guys that won the Academy Award in China. They came over here to America. We shot a movie. I play an LA cop. It's called LA Rush. I got this amazing movie coming out called The Penitent Thief. Vertical Entertainment just picked it up, and they're a rather big company, so it's set to hit the theaters October 9th, and it'll be everywhere, in the theaters, streaming. There's some money behind it, and the most amazing thing about it is I'm playing the lead. I'm the main actor. Yeah, I'm top billed in the movie. It's basically a movie about a thief based on a book that Don Willis wrote called The Penitent Thief. And The Penitent Thief, if you know the story about the 2 guys that died on the cross next to Jesus Christ, they were brothers, they were marauders. One didn't believe in God, the other one succumbed to believe in God and that Jesus Christ was the Son of God and believed that he would eternally, rest in heaven. and you know, they were killers. So this movie is it's pretty hardcore movie. But right now, what we're pushing is we're on this 10-year anniversary of Scalpers, and you know, that's a movie that I wrote, directed, produced, star in, and it's very dear to my heart because I was able to make it with a lot of guys from the neighborhood that I'm friends with. Yeah, and put my friends in the movie. The only problem is when I released it 10 years ago, I couldn't, you know, there were no streaming platforms. For me, it was an accomplishment. It was something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to wait for Hollywood to say, hey, Jay, now you can have a lead role. I went out and I created a lead role for myself, and I made the movie happen, and I put my own money into it. And so here we are in the 10th anniversary, and I realized there's so many streaming platforms. You know, you got, you know, Amazon and Netflix and Hulu, and then there are independent streaming platforms like Vimeo, and Vimeo has their own on-demand. So I recently released it on Vimeo On Demand. The link is in my bio on my Instagram, at Jay Giannoni, and then we have an Instagram page, at Scalpers the Movie. There's also a link there. If you got a computer, click on the link. It's real simple. You sign in your name, you give your email, you press enter, and you're in. And then you can, you know, put your credit card in, and you can watch the movie.
Wow, that's cool. That's great.
Yeah, it's a lot of work doing this stuff, as you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have a premiere here or something, you got to let us know. We'll be there. You know.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't have a premiere without you there.
That's right.
Are you kidding
That's right.
me? Monday, baby. And if I have a premiere, it's going to be on Monday.
I love that.
Hey, buddy, Jay Giannoni loves Mondays.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey.
And I love Mr. Monday.
And he loves you too, man. You are the best. I love you, man, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. Keep doing what you're doing because I love Mondays.
You're the best. We'll see you later.